Hi, I'm Brian Crombie, and we're going to be talking on The Brian Crombie Show. We're going to be talking about politics, arts, business, and social issues on The Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Good evening and welcome to The Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. I have the pleasure of bringing to you some interesting personalities in Mississauga and the Greater Toronto area. And tonight is got to be one of the biggest honors of my life, and that is to bring to you the urban Buddhist monk. Bhante is his first name. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name because I'll do a terrible job of it. But I want to tell you before I introduce you to him a little story and of how I met him. I'm a business guy, as any of you that know me would know, and I got asked to be a speaker at a kindfulness seminar. And you ask, what the heck is a business guy going to have a knowledge of kindfulness? And Bhante and some of the people that work for him and work with him said they wanted to know how business guys think about compassion and empathy and things like that in the workplace. And so I ended up having this opportunity to go and speak to this kindfulness seminar, and met this gentleman that never stops smiling, is always happy, is always optimistic, is always positive, and is really trying to make Canada a more kindful nation. And I think it was fascinating. And obviously, I want to meet him tonight and introduce him to you, and then chat a little bit about kindfulness, meditation, his personal story, and things like that. Yeah. So Bhante, thanks for joining us tonight on the Brian Crombie Show.
Well, thank you, Brian, for having me on your show.
My pleasure. And how do I pronounce your last name?
Well, Bhante Saranapala.
Saranapala.
Yeah, Saranapala is actually my name. That is the only name given to me by my teacher after my ordination.
Okay.
So it's an interesting name. Bhante is a kind of calling name for all the Buddhist monks.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
And Saranapala Sarana means refuge, a shelter. So I have become a shelter, a refuge to myself and to everyone.
and you're is it a temple that is it called a Buddhist temple? Or?
Yeah, we
where is
have
your temple?
A Buddhist temple, Western Buddhist Temple Meditation Center. It's located at Kautra Road, 3133 Kautra Road, near Dundas.
Kautra and Dundas, okay.
Yeah, Kautra Dundas.
And kindfulness symposium is what you held. Why did you have a kindfulness symposium?
Oh, wow, that's an interesting story. I don't know how much time we have today, but I will try my best to explain everything.
Okay.
So I have been conducting mindfulness meditations sessions for the public for a long time.
Right.
Now this is my 25th year, by the way.
25th year.
Yeah. So
as a Buddhist monk, or in Canada, or both?
Yeah, as a Buddhist monk. I have. We'll be talking about this later. So this was 7 years ago when I went to Pickering to conduct a mindfulness meditation session for a group of accountants at the accounting firm. And so I had my friend who actually drives me around, Michael Weldon, and after this session, he took me to nearby Tim Horton because he knows that I love
Tim Hortons?
Tim Hortons with double, So
I don't know. I would have thought a Buddhist monk is drinking green tea, not a double from Tim Hortons.
Well, I do this only when I go out.
Okay, good.
So he knows this habit. So as we were enjoying this tea and coffee at the Tim Horton, he said, "Bhante, I always go with you. You're always talking about mindfulness, kindness, compassion, all the good values." And I said, "This is so great." So then I took a deep breath, and then I said, "Mikey, I have an idea." He said, "What's that?" "How about I call Canada a mindful and kind nation?" And he goes, "Right on." After that, he said that this is the best idea, and following day I registered that name, Canada, a mindful and kind nation.
A mindful and kind nation.
So it's actually kindness and mindfulness is what we call kindfulness.
Right.
So it's basically building a kindful nation based on kindness and mindfulness meditation. And I believe it's not just me, you know. You also have the same capacity, same power to cultivate mindfulness and compassion. And I'm promoting mental health through these principles. I have been doing spiritual counseling for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, I did student counseling, and I do individual counseling, marriage counseling at my center in Mississauga. So I have listened to many stories.
And sorry, so I apologize for interrupting.
Yeah.
So I would have thought a lot of what you do is meditation, and so yes, you do meditation, but you also are actively listening to people and having them tell their stories too.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I do. I think I'm good at listening.
Okay.
I do deep listening. I don't judge people. I just listen to their stories. I think people need someone to listen to their story who cannot judge them. So I think this is also part of my training, and I always when I listen to people, I have this compassion in my heart. Mm-hmm. I always wish, I know this person is, whoever it is, this person is, is going through some personal struggles, emotional pains and suffering, and I always wish, may this person become free from this personal struggle, pain and suffering.
Right.
So with this intention in mind, I listen to their stories, and of course I share some principles to help them. And I have been very successful in this, by the way.
That's interesting, because I think a lot of people, when they listen, are judging and or are thinking about what suggestions they can make to improve this person's situation. And you're not doing that. You're just listening and hoping that that they solve their problems and they have better health and outcomes.
I think, Brian, when you do the deep listening, instead of finding a solution for this person, you just keep listening and you try to find out and understand the root cause behind what this person is going through.
Yeah.
So then, when I find out that, then I think I know what are the principles I need to share with this person. And sometimes I just let the conversation flow, and as we keep conversing, then there comes, what I call the eureka moment.
Yep.
And I get this eureka moment. I think this is what this person needs. And I do that with compassion, it's very important.
Yeah.
Compassion is, I think sometimes people talk about compassion. Compassion is really being passionate about the person, the community,
yeah,
and having the throbbing heart, like, oh my goodness, this person is going through this struggle. And when you feel that person's suffering, and that is called the suffering, then that's how you feel like reaching out to that person to give a helping hand.
Yeah.
Okay, you're fine, don't worry.
Well, as you may know from the speech that I did at your symposium, I have the 10 powers of Co, and compassion is one of my 10 powers of Co, because I think it's so critical. And for me, compassion is empathy in action.
Yeah.
And too many people will be sympathetic, will have concern, will be charitable even and give some money.
Yeah.
But until you take that next step and have empathy where you truly understand the hurt, the situation someone's in, and then put it into action by having, as you say, a passion, compassion, you're not really achieving what you need to achieve.
Yeah, being passionate about the community.
Yeah.
So that is compassion.
No question.
So then I bring, this is also part of my mindfulness practice too. Like, I'm not thinking about anything in the past or in the future. I'm just being fully mindful, being right here in the now, in the present moment.
Which is, I think, something that people need, in a spiritual manner, but in business and in lots of things in society. Too often we're social media, we're all over the map, we're thinking about the past, we're thinking about the problems, we're thinking about the future, we're thinking about what to do tomorrow, and we're not enjoying the moment.
Exactly.
Right now, I am interviewing one of the most impressive gentlemen I've ever had the pleasure of interviewing.
Yeah.
That's spectacular.
Yeah, even now, Lisa, I'm truly enjoying this conversation, because this is a conversation from heart to heart.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to understand what you're saying, and then I'm also fully aware what I'm saying, you know. And then once we remain in the present moment, and guess what? Present moment is the beautiful moment. That is the peaceful moment.
And what's the secret to achieving that? Do you have a way of focusing your mind on the present moment and getting rid of all the distractions?
Well, there are many, I think it's not just one day practice. You need to develop that skill.
So mindfulness is a muscle, I guess, that needs to be strengthened over time with practice.
Yeah, it's a meditation. It's like, you know, when people believe in building the muscles, no, physical fitness.
Yeah.
So they go to gym every day, right?
With mindfulness, you need to do the same thing.
So you need to do the same thing with mindfulness meditation, to develop your mindfulness, your concentration, and you need to keep doing this. This is the mental strength you're building, mental muscle.
Mental
muscle.
Yeah. I think that's a great concept to take a break on. Yeah. We're going to take a break for a message, and we're going to come back with Bhante and talk a little bit more about mindfulness and meditation, and then how he got to where he is as an urban Buddhist monk today.
Yeah.
Take a break and stay with us, please.
आलमी तिजारत का नया मरकज गवादर का बायतमाद इदारा न्यू विजन ग्रुप आपको दे मुस्तकबिल की कीमती सरमायाकारी का सुनहरी मौका। अमेरिका और कनाडा में रहते हुए सरमायाकारी और भी आसान। गवादर मास्टर प्लान की अहम और कीमती लोकेशन गवादर की मरकजी शहरा और 0 पॉइंट पर वाक़या साहिल समंदर से करीब तरीन 100, 200, 300 गज के रिहायशी तिजारती प्लॉट, 1 एकड़ 2 एकड़ के इंडस्ट्रियल प्लॉट, निहायत मुनासिब कीमत और महाना आसानी के साथ में अभी अपने प्लॉट बुक करवाएं। मजीद मालूमात के लिए राब्ता फरमाएं।
GTA Real Estate Investments. Pre-construction or resale. Consult trusted realtors. Get first access and incentives. Contact Khalid Aziz or Mashood Khalid, 647-865-2949.
Buying or selling a residential or commercial property is one of the biggest financial decisions most people will make in their life. The real estate lawyers at Alam Law Chambers will guide you through the complete real estate laws to ensure your transaction completes on time and your dreams come true. Reliable and affordable. Alam Law.
You do not have to wait to protect your dependents and plan your estate. Ado Law will help you take the appropriate steps. Having a will is the most important thing you can do for yourself and your dependents. Not only can a will legally protect your loved ones, it can also spell out exactly how you would like things handled after you have passed on. Ado Law, the legal professionals.
Hi, I'm Brian Crombie, and we're going to be talking on the Brian Crombie Show. We're going to be talking about politics, arts, business, and social issues on the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. We've had just a fascinating conversation with Bhante, the urban Buddhist monk, this evening, and we're going to continue. And we had just started talking about meditation. And Bhante, I've tried meditation, and the meditation I did, it was at a fitness institute, and what I was doing is I was counting to 7 backwards and frontwards. And it was very boring for me. I couldn't focus, and it didn't do anything for me. How do you teach meditation?
Well, I teach meditation in very simple way. You can just, bring your full attention to here.
To your nose.
To your nose. Like keeping your full attention in between the nose tip and upper lip.
Okay.
And then...
And you're closing your eyes?
Maybe you can close your eyes. If you close your eyes, then it's much easier.
Okay.
And then feel the breath, which is naturally going in, going out.
Right.
And if you can feel that natural breath, as it goes in, you feel the cold sensation. As it goes out, you feel the warm sensation.
Yep.
So if you can sustain your full attention on that, following the breath all the way in, all the way out, and then you feel the peace immediately. And maybe at the beginning, for the beginners, they may not feel this peace,
right,
but it may take some time because it's a training.
Right.
So there's a possibility of mind going out. So you can use a mantra.
A mantra, okay.
A mantra may be a very useful, meaningful word. Let's say for the general people, I always ask them to say something, relax to the max, relax to the max, relax to the max.
I like that. Now, I had heard Om as a mantra.
Well, if some people use that Om as a mantra, but again, you can use any word.
Yeah.
Some people use Buddha, like where you like enlighten, like awaken. That's the meaning of Buddha. So you break that word into 2.
Yeah.
Buddha.
Bud.
Like when you breathe in, Bud.
Oh.
Then when you breathe out, Bud. So which means you are awake. I am awake. That's the meaning.
And the idea of this is to what? Is to empty the mind, or to focus the mind on something, or what?
Well, we practice meditation to purify the mind.
Purify the mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
To clean the mind.
So I think of myself as a spiritual person.
Yeah.
And I pray on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I find that I meditate in front of sunrises or sunsets or lakes or oceans.
Yeah.
And to really good music. Chris Bodie, trumpeter, is my favorite to sort of meditate. Is that the same thing or not?
Well, there are many meditation techniques. Like, there are 2 major meditation techniques. One is called the tranquility meditation, known as Samatha Bhavana. The other one is called Vipassana Bhavana, insight meditation.
Okay.
Under the tranquility meditation, the calm, relaxation meditation, there are many techniques. You can use any calming technique, relaxation technique, to help your mind to calm down, to relax the body, to relax the mind. So when you go, you can listen to nature sounds.
Yes.
Let's say you can go to a beach or to a lake, and you just sit down. You sit on a stone by the lake and listen to the waves coming towards the shore.
Yeah.
Or you could just feel the cool breeze coming from the lake. And when the cool breeze touches your face, and how you feel, you feel relaxed at that moment. And then you also can see, observe the flying birds, or the floating clouds.
Yeah.
And so then once you observe all this, then you remain grounded in the moment.
I have this massive 150-year-old willow tree in my backyard, and I love just staring at the willow tree.
Wow, yeah, we also had the same tree at our old place by Diximo. We used to count the years. By then, that tree was 165 years. And then when people used to come to my meditation class on Wednesday evenings, and they would just sit under that tree. Even I have seen some people giving a hug.
Giving the tree a hug.
Yeah. That was amazing, you know.
So it was part of a fascinating mental health for teenagers course. And one of the assessments that the psychologist had is that in today's society, we're almost trained with social media and TV and you know the news that's on the you know numerous different tickers that are going on at the same time to react really quickly to things. The psychologist described that our emotional mind reacts 7 times faster than our rational mind. 7 times faster, and so therefore the key is being mindful, slowing down, breathing, and allowing the rational mind an opportunity to, if not overcome whatever the emotional mind is thinking about, but at least have a chance at being in the game. And all she was doing was teaching breathing exercises, which is the breathing exercise that you did with thinking about the what was it, bra?
Relax. The breathing meditation. Buddho.
Buddho.
Oh, Buddho.
Slowing down the breathing.
Oh yeah.
And,
Buddho.
Buddho.
Oh, relax to the max.
Relax to the max.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. They did psychological studies of people after 30 seconds of doing an exercise like that, and people's response was dramatically different to the same. You know, incident, the same occurrence that occurred to them, they would react emotionally rash in a negative manner immediately, and then the exact same thing happening if they spent 30 seconds relaxing and breathing differently, the response was very different.
Yeah, that's because, you know, if our mind is too active, if it is working too fast, irrationally, then, you know, we don't see the things as they really are. It's like, you know, imagine you're driving a car 100 kilometers an hour, then sometimes you don't see even the signs and you miss the exit. Now if you take trains, so let's say subway trains, right? When 2 trains pass, right, and you can't see the people in the other train. So to see the people in the other train, you need to stop, you need to slow down. So in the same way, if our mind is like in a boombox talking all the time, then you cannot see the things as they really are. And also you don't know whether you're reacting to the situation or you're responding to the situation. So what meditation does is, it helps you stop reacting emotionally, and it helps you to respond to the circumstances rationally.
So it sounds to me like your kindfulness is a combination of meditation and your deep listening. So it's the compassion and it's the meditation.
Yeah, it's come from 2 words, kindness and mindfulness. So it's called kindfulness. Now, I teach a principle. The principle is, be mindful to be kind to yourself. Be mindful to be kind to others.
Okay, and how do you do that?
And being mindful means to remember. Remember to be kind to yourself. Remember to be kind to others. Let's say first you. Now if you're going through something, it could be anything. It could be stress, tension, anxieties, depression, sadness, grief, guilt, fear, you name it. There are a lot of emotional troubles.
Right.
So then, you need to, because of all these emotional pains, you're crying inside. Because you have pains. Now, it's like the crying baby. When a baby cries, the mother goes there and grabs the baby with so much love and kindness and even it starts patting the back and the head. So the mother knows two things. If a baby cries, that is because either baby made a mess or the baby is hungry. So mother has to clean the baby if it is a mess, and then baby would stop crying.
Right.
Or if the baby is still crying, that's because baby is hungry, so you have to feed.
Right.
So when you feed the baby with so much love, and then guess what, after a while, baby stops crying. So in the same way, you also need to have the same attitude towards yourself. You need to be mindful to be kind to yourself first when you go through some troubles in life. And then you also show the same kindness to the people around you. Let's say if you're always kind, if you're being kind person, and people around you are also going to be kind to you.
Right.
So it's very important for us to have kindness in our heart and mind, and at the same time to have the same kindness for others. Other people.
Well, again, if you remember my talk to your kindfulness symposium, I talk about one of the ways that you do that best is through listening, through conversations. You do it with your active listening. And the example I give is that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and ears that can never close and a mouth that can close.
Yeah.
And I think that whether it was God or Mother Nature or selection, natural selection, I think there's a reason why we've got ears that are 2 and see, listen in all directions, and never close, and a mouth that is one direction and can't close. And we should be listening actively a lot more often than we do.
Oh yeah.
I've got to tell you, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I have not gone to your meditation seminars, and I want to go. But one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show was to number one, thank you and tell people about your Kindfulness Canada initiative.
Yeah.
But then also I think you're a great example of how we should reach out as people in Mississauga, as people in the world, and experience other religions. And one of the best benefits I've had in my position in the last couple of years is I've had the opportunity to go to Buddhist temples, to Muslim mosques, to gurdwaras, to synagogues, and to numerous different denominations, churches, and there's beauty in almost every religion.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful to experience it all.
Well,
and so I wanted to thank you for your impact on Mississauga and on Toronto and on Canada and the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian, for having me on your show. And this is such a great opportunity. You have been so gracious and kind enough to have, to speak at my annual conference last year. And I'm very happy to come here. And I would like to invite everyone to meditate. If you really believe in your peace and happiness, practice meditation 15 minutes every day.
Well, and I got to say 15 minutes to yourself, whether it's Bhante's type of meditation or my type of meditation, looking at a beautiful tree or an ocean or a lake or prayer. Whatever that meditation is, I agree. 15 minutes for yourself, a quiet time. We could do a lot worse than that. Anyway, good night. Thank you for joining us on the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Come back next time for another interesting person that we're going to meet. Good night.